Okay, joining us now, the chairman of House Homeland Security, Chairman Mark Green. It's great to see you again, sir. Okay, so
hey, Liz.
From what you're hearing, it's good to have you on. This big question, how will President Biden address the historic border collapse he ignited with nearly 100 executive actions? We're looking at a record 9.5 million illegal immigrants crossing, including the gotaways. Is he going to declare a national emergency? Probably not. How is he going to deal with it?
Well, he's going to say it's a crisis and that it's been a crisis for a very long time, despite the fact that both he and his Secretary of Homeland Security have said it's been a secure border and no crisis ever since he got into office. But just a few months ago, he started talking about how it's been going on like this for decades. And he'll blame Congress. He'll say, I need immigration legislation. Let's fix immigration. He'll bash us for not accepting that crazy bill that was put together in the Senate. So those are some of the things that he's going to talk about on the border, but he's going to do everything but accept the blame. And you're right, it was those policies that were done away with, the fact that they're not adhering to the laws on the books, executing the laws written on the books. It's their fault, and they're going to pass the buck.
You know what, Chairman, that Senate bill that failed, it would have put in place and cemented in place crisis-level border crossings that even the Obama White House said was a crisis level. What do you make of the House just, a few hours ago passing the LAK and Riley Act, named after that Georgia nursing student murdered by allegedly by an illegal immigrant? What do you make of this? There are growing calls to the president to actually say LAK and Riley's name, but he hasn't done that yet.
Yeah, he should absolutely pick up the phone and call that family and say, I'm really sorry for what happened. I'm saddened by what happened. Yes, he should own the fact that his policies, his open door policies, resulted in that individual being released into the country. He should call the mothers who lost children to fentanyl. He should call family members whose auto accidents by human traffickers fleeing law enforcement that killed Americans. I mean, there's a lot of phone calls this president owes moms and dads. Yeah. And absolutely, he should say this young woman's name. I know tonight, I think it was Speaker Johnson or maybe it was Congressman Collins invited the family of LAK and Riley to the State of the Union. They declined, of course, and asked for an empty seat. So you'll see an empty seat representing all lives lost to illegal aliens in this country. You'll see that in the speech tonight.
Chairman, the other thing, too, that's happening, President Biden, new reports coming in, his administration secretly flew in at least 320,000 illegal immigrants straight out of Latin America into 43 U.S. cities via that CBP One app that they could use on their phone. This is the most of any president. But the White House and the CBP won't say which U.S. cities they went to. Tom Homan says just you can imagine which ones they are already. What do you think of this?
Well, we know for a fact that it's Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Haiti that most of these individuals have come from. It's about 357,000 to be exact. And it's a program that Mr. Mayorkas just invented himself to bring these individuals into the country, violating the laws of the Immigration and Nationality Act. This is why we impeached him, because he's in total disregard of the fact that the Congress is a separate and equal branch of government, co-equal branch of government. So they are violating the laws, packaging people from other countries, bringing them directly into inner cities without going through the process. This is a violation of the law, and it's wrong. And I will tell you, I can't get into details. Some of these individuals are not good, and you wouldn't want them in your neighborhood.
Okay, well, this is scary stuff, because the other thing that's happening too, Chairman, thank you so much for bringing us that information. Listen to Democrat Senator Joe Manchin on News Nation calling out the White House over this. Watch this.
The border today, Chris, I think in my lifetime is one of the most dangerous things we've ever faced. It has the ability to brew into something that we can't even imagine, because we don't know where an awful lot of these people are, what their intentions of coming here for. We weren't able to adjudicate them or vet them. And that's what's got to stop. And, Joe Biden owns it. He has to declare emergency. He has to secure the border immediately. And I hope he says that tomorrow night to State of the Union.
Yeah, me too. It'll still be late. But, we only know what he shows.
Chairman Green, your final word.
Yeah, I would love for Joe Manchin to have said that months ago, but I'm with him 100% on what he just said. A couple of million unknown gotaways and known gotaways, and they're is no telling who's in that lot.
Chairman Mark Green, we appreciate you so much. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's good to see you again.